You're listening to Superpowers of the Soul on the Superpower Up podcast, the show that elevates superpowers to the divine.
Welcome, everyone. This is Janifer Wheeler. I'm a superpower expert, and I'm the founder of Soul Language. And this is Superpowers of the Soul. And I am so excited because I'm with Janifer Wheeler. And our topic is change the world by being your badass self. Woo, let's do that again. Change the world by being your badass self. Hello, Jennifer. How are you?
Hello, Jennifer. I'm great. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's so great. You're like my fifth interview today, which is so exciting. But I'm starting to lose my voice from talking. But I always love to start these conversations with understanding what you consider to be the superpower of your soul.
So the superpower of my soul, I would say, is I have a gladiator type of personality in that I am an action taker, and I'm also my own badass self in practically every situation, which I think comes from that action-oriented, soulful place.
Yeah. I think people tend to do sometimes action for action's sake. But what you're talking about here is you're taking divinely inspired action. So you're tuning within and then connecting, and that action naturally appears, and you go with it. I think some people try to do the action in order to get what they want, and that's not what you're saying at all. So
I'm sorry. No, not at all. In fact, I would really say that is sometimes what I would do prior to actually taking more time to be more self-aware and reflective and really tapping into the voice of my soul. So I would say I've always kind of had this badass quality, like I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to take the action that serves me. But it's far more productive and real and a genuine reflection of who you truly are made to be when you partner a soulful, reflective, self-aware practice with that bold confidence.
I agree. I always say about myself, because I have warrior energy too, that I could get more done in 15 minutes than most people get all day. And when I moved into that divinely inspired action, that listening, it has this ability to put you right in the flow of things. So my next question for you is, what do you consider your sacred purpose?
My sacred purpose. I feel like my sacred purpose is to share what I know and what I've learned with other people so they can tap into their own warrior energy and partner it with whatever their soul's purpose is, because not everybody is a warrior. But there are times when you need that aspect, when you need a bit of that type of energy to propel you forward and to partner or to support what your actual soul's purpose is.
Agreed. And I think sometimes that's warrior energy. We can tend to forget that not everyone has that, warrior energy. And, I find, and I'm sure you find this too, that people are coming to you for that strength, for that, action quality, and for that grace with it. So what is a common theme that your soul has shared with you throughout your journey?
A common theme my soul has shared with me is, I would say, to stay the course, to not allow self-doubts and fear to interfere. It's okay to have those, because we all do, and there's really, I don't know how you escape them popping up, but I see them almost like a whack-a-mole, if you will. Like they're happening, but it's like, no, you're not going to get in my way. You're temporary. So I'm going to beat you down, and I'm going to keep on moving forward.
Yeah, you can't get rid of them, right? Or you're not human. It's about what you do with that, how you notice it, how you tune into it, or do you tune into something bigger? And I think that's the real, we're going to talk about this after the break, but I think that's another way to really be your badass self, is what you focus on and what you tune towards. We all have those moments of doubt and those moments of programming. It's do you stay in there? Do you give it weight? Or do you let that go and focus on something bigger? So before our break here, how do people get in touch with you? How do they learn more about you?
Well, I am on social media, so it is easy to find me there. Facebook, I'm at Wheelhouse Lifestyle Solutions. You can also find me as Janifer, Janifer Wheeler. And I have a website, JaniferWheeler.com.
Beautiful. Okay, everyone, stay tuned because after the break, we're going to be talking about change the world by being your badass self.
Hello, everyone. This is Tonya Don Rekla, Executive Director of Superpower Experts, and we want to thank each of you for making Superpower Up the #1 podcast network for personal development and spiritual growth. Because people like you have the courage to say that mindfulness, healthy living, disrupting reality, the pursuit of consciousness, responsible entrepreneurship, and radical parenting matter, we now amass over 1 million downloads monthly in more than 90 countries. Our numbers keep growing because there are far more people willing to live divergently than mass media wants to acknowledge. For you, the change makers, the light bearers, the way showers, we say thank you. If you're ready to take the next step in your evolution, go now to superpowerexperts.com and take the Superpower quiz. And as Neva Lee Rekla, our youngest podcaster, likes to remind us, remember, we all have superpowers and we can change the world.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Jennifer Wheeler, and we are with Janifer Wheeler, and we're talking about change the world by being your badass self. So, what do you mean by badass? Which I love. I love this terminology. But let's put everyone on the same playing field. What do you mean by that comment?
So when I say soulful badass, which is really the foundational concept around all the things that I teach and train on, is we all are born with we have a soul, and it speaks to us if we will listen. And so for me, that's a deep self-awareness. You have to take some action in order to hear it. And then when you hear it and when you know what you're made to do, and this can be in any kind of situation, it's not exclusive to I need to know my purpose, but once you know your purpose and align that with your values and who you really are, it gives you that confidence to put structure into your life, to be a badass and to say, no, I'm not doing that. It doesn't align with my values. Or yes, this is perfect. It aligns absolutely with who I am, and this is going to make me better. And that's really what I want people to begin to explore, is not just a random best self, but a very intentional way of knowing who your best self is or how you can be your best self, and then owning that and putting it out into the world so that you are fully embracing your personal power and using it to your own good.
Where do you think people fall down in that? Where do you think they get stuck in really, explaining that and claiming that and expressing that value of who they are, that soulful self?
I think it comes from two places. One, I think that some people experience a deep self-doubt as children for a variety of reasons. If you're, say for instance, I was a school teacher, I was an elementary teacher for a really long time, and you see kids who come to you as early as second grade already struggling with their self-concept, and because they're not successful at school, or they're not successful at sports, or whatever it is in their life that they're trying to, because they're kids, right? They're practicing, they're experimenting and finding out what the world is about. And when you encounter obstacles and you're young and you're not real sure what to do with them, those things can fester and then follow you into adulthood. Or you can also feel pretty good about yourself until you meet that one big life challenge that totally undermines everything that you thought you were. For me, to be honest, that experience was motherhood. I never felt so incompetent in my life as I did when I brought a baby home. Mm-hmm. And it really can mess with your mindset. And you can start to believe that you're not good enough, that this is all you've got. Perhaps you're not happy and you feel stuck, but you don't really know how to get out of it, because the self-doubt and the fear and the what are other people going to think, it all starts to compound. And I believe a lot of it comes from society and some of the expectations and roles that have been created for people from our society. And it's so ingrained in you that it's really hard to break free from that if you don't have the right support group, if you don't have people encouraging you, if you don't ultimately believe that you can be a soulful badass and own your life and do what you think is best for yourself at pretty much any given moment.
So if people were listening to you and they want to start to kind of change that world and step into that badass self, what would be an easy, starter tip to start to accept and become that badass self?
My first starter tip would be get aligned with your values. And that's the foundation of who we are. What do we value? And it goes beyond like the societal expectation of perhaps, I value integrity, or I value kindness. Those are wonderful things to value, and I hope that people are operating from a place of kindness and integrity on a daily basis. But what is it that you deeply, truly value? For me, my deepest value is freedom and autonomy of my own life. And then that moves into learning. I love to learn. I want to know everything that I can. So that connects me to travel and to reading and to listening to podcasts and, finding information on social media that I need. And so once you know that, then your decisions are made from that place. Agreed. Sure, I accepted your invitation to be interviewed because I find what you do so powerful. And I've learned something about myself just from being in your circle. And so that's powerful to me because I so value learning. It fits right in with who I am. So I would say yes to that over and over. But that might not be what other people value. And so they might say no. I don't know. I hope that makes sense.
It totally makes sense. And I think what's really important for people to understand the difference between value and needs, and we have those fundamental needs way past survival needs, and
exactly.
those needs are those things that you cannot live without. And so anyone listening, you can email me and ask for a value and needs sheet, and I will send you off them so you can determine your values so you can step into your badass self. So before I ask my last question here, also let people know how to get back in touch with you. Give them your website again, please.
Absolutely. My website is www.janifer, Janifer, Wheeler, WHEELER.com.
Love it. So my last question is, if you were a magnet on whatever you call your higher power, whether that be God, universe, tree, refrigerator, what would your magnet say?
Make shit happen.
I love it. Well, I want to thank you so much. You're such a spiritual renegade, which, I love. And I love that you're a badass. And thanks so much for coming and sharing your wisdom.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm so glad to share this little tip with your audience.
Beautiful. If you like what you heard, you can connect with me and all the other experts in the Superpower Net at superpowerexperts.com/the-net. Don't forget, find and be your connection. Bye for now.
Are you ready to discover your superpowers? Go now to superpowerexperts.com and take the Superpower quiz today.